It doesn't take a lot of skill to replace a broken plug on an extension cord or an appliance. You'll need some basic knowledge to select a replacement plug that does not create a potential fire or shock hazard. In the United States, you'll find three types of plugs. These are all male ends. The three female end types are wired the same way as their male counterparts. If polarity is not a concern, an electrical device will have a non-polarized two-prong plug. Both prongs are equal in size. It can be plugged into an outlet in either direction. In the early days of electricity, plugs were not polarized and did not have ground wires. If the appliance has a metal case, like this circular saw, a malfunction could cause the handle to become energized. I don't recommend repairing this type of device. If you're repairing an old lamp with a non-polarized plug, to improve safety, I recommend purchasing a lamp cord with a molded plug. The old lamp cord is likely brittle anyway. If you don't know how to wire the socket end, I have a video that shows how to do that. Click on the channel name, Know How Now, and look for the playlist titled Electric Lamp Repair. Most modern lamps and some other appliances and some other extension cords will have a two-prong polarized plug. One prong is wider than the other. The plug will only fit into an outlet in one direction. The reason for a polarized plug is often a safety feature to prevent the casing of the device from becoming energized if the device malfunctions. A three-prong plug has two equal-sized prongs and an additional round prong that is connected to a ground wire. Unless noted earlier in the video, the replacement plug should be the same type as the original plug. To prevent the possibility of the replacement plug from overheating or becoming a fire hazard, its rating has to be equal to or more than the amp rating of the device that the replacement plug is being connected to. Most replacement plugs are rated for either 15 or 20 amps. The electrical breakers for most of the circuits in your home are also rated for 15 or 20 amps. Look for a label on the appliance to find out how many amps the appliance uses. This vacuum cleaner draws 12 amps. A 15 amp plug is okay to use on this vacuum cleaner. The label on this hairdryer does not list any amps, however, it says 1500 watts. Divide the listed watts by the typical volts found in your home, which would be 120, and you'll get how many amps that device draws, 12.5 in this case. If you're replacing the end on an extension cord and the tag for its rating is missing, look closely at the cord's jacket. Printed on this jacket is 16/3. That means it's American wire gauge number 16 with 3 conductors. Stamped on this cord is 3x14AWG. That means 3 conductors by 14 American wire gauge. If the wire gauge is 12, to be safe, install a plug that is rated for 20 amps. If the cord is a 14, 16, or 18 gauge, install a plug that's rated for 15 amps. Standard wire coloring code is green for ground, black for hot, and white for neutral. You may encounter non-standard colors. I used a multimeter to verify these colors. Green with the yellow trace was ground, the brown wire was hot, and the blue neutral. Lamp cord and some extension cords will only have 2 conductors. The hot wire's casing will be smooth and it may have printing on it. The neutral conductor will have a raised rib on it. You can feel it, and it won't have any writing. This female replacement end is not properly installed. It should be clamped onto the wire's insulation. I'll use this as my example on how to land the wires. Of course, you don't want to do this with the cord plugged in. I'll use the plug end to estimate how far to cut the insulation. I'll use the strippers to score the jacket, being careful not to cut into the conductors. I'll use the terminal to estimate on how far to strip the wire back. The strippers have a gauge for the wire size. The gauge on the left is for solid wire and the one on the right is stranded. I know that this is 16 gauge stranded. I'll use that hole to strip back the wire. I've made a chart to show how to connect the different types of plugs. The hot wire can be black, or it's the smooth wire that has print on it. The neutral is the white wire, and it also can be ribbed. And then the green wire is the ground. The non-polarized plug, 2 prongs, same size. You'll only have a hot and neutral wire, and it doesn't matter which way you connect them. The polarized plug, it has 2 prongs, and one prong is wider than the other. The black or hot wire goes to the narrow prong, and the white wire goes to the wide prong. The 3-prong plug, it has 2 flat prongs, and they're usually the same size, although one could be wider than the other. And then there's the round prong. If the plug's narrow prongs are the same size, you can use an outlet to figure out which is the wide and which is the narrow prong. We plug in this way, so we know that this prong is the wide one and this one is the narrow one. Again, the narrow prong goes to the black or hot wire, the wide prong goes to the white or neutral, and then you have the third connection, which is the round prong, the ground, and that gets the green wire. Sometimes the screw terminals are also color-coded, with the hot being the brass screw, the white being the silver screw, and if there's a ground, it will be a green screw. For this style of terminal, the wire is clamped down between 2 plates. When you finish making all the connections, they should look like this one. The insulation of the wire should be up against the edge of the terminal. No wires should be touching together or anything metal. No stray strands of wires should be sticking out. If your replacement plug has terminals that the wire wraps around it, strip the wires back about 1/2 inch. Make a shepherd's hook. Put the open end of the hook onto the terminal in the direction that you're going to turn it. And just like the other connection, you shouldn't have any loose strands sticking out or touching together. The cover should be up against the end of the terminal. The wire should be fully wrapped around the screw. If the replacement plug cinches down onto the outer covering of the cord, hand tighten it and then give it maybe a half a turn or so until it tightens up. No need to over tighten. Then give the end of the plug a tug from the cord and make sure that it won't pull loose. I hope you found this video helpful. A thumbs up is always appreciated. Click on the channel name, Know How Now, to find other videos. And thanks for watching.